Sporting touch of hands. Round number one. There's that fast start. And that is the fastest knockout in bare knuckle fighting championship.
K-Mama, no born in the Bronx, raised in Dade. Been in the city since Pit had braids. Bahapanti parties, plata know how to sneak me out. Now it's 7-figure meetings, every day we lead a house. It's game time, the game's mine, you know the vibe. Yo viajaba el mundo entero, rapping 305.
Go! Welcome everybody to another episode of Don't Blink Podcast. You know I got the kid in the building.
Yes, we in here.
Today's another special episode, man. I got the original Kendall representative, the drink champ himself, DJ EFN, man. Thank you so much for being my brother.
My brother. Thank you for having
me.
me.
Man. Absolutely.
I've been looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it.
Us too, man. We've been talking about it for weeks. I'm so glad you were able to make it, man. And it's awesome to have you here, brother. You know what I mean?
Thank you for having me, bro.
Yo, and he was showing love. Second episode, once we had Garcia in here, you know what I'm saying? He got the post, he reposted it, and he just let it rip. It was love.
We're all extended family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Garcia's family, you know what I mean? It's crazy how, you know, the 6 degrees of separation works, especially here in Miami.
Yeah, man.
Hell
You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's awesome to have you here, brother. I've seen your progression from back in the day to where you're at now. It's amazing what you're doing. Congratulations on everything.
Likewise,
Thank
brother.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much, my brother. My bro, this show is about you. I want to let the people know, how you got to where you're at today. From I didn't know you came from LA. I thought you were in Miami.
Born in LA.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Cubans in LA too.
Yeah, because you know when the Cubans first got here, they didn't want them all here. This was Gringo Land originally. So they were like, yo, you want a free ticket to wherever the hell you want to go. Right. And then my mom's and her sister, they went to LA, and my dad, he came through Peter Pan.
Okay.
And he went to Washington State to an orphanage.
Right. Yeah.
And he volunteered Marines, went to Vietnam, and then he was stationed in San Diego. So that's how they met. And then all the Cubans, wherever they're at, they formed these little social clubs and networks. And they met, they try to introduce each other to each other.
That's how they start taking over.
That's how they connected, yeah.
That's awesome. What part of LA were you at?
So when my parents were together, and I was born, they were in the hills, Anaheim Hills.
Okay.
But my parents separated quick when I was little, and then we was in the hood. We was in Southgate.
But that's where I was at. Yeah.
With Cypress Hill and all that.
You're right. Because I was born in Miami, but then as a kid, my mom ran off and went to LA, and I was in Southgate and Downey, which is right there.
Yeah, Downey's the Cuban town.
Right.
My family's still there right now. My cousins.
They actually have a huge Cuban pastry place now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
That's awesome, my brother. So let the people know, from the beginning how we got to where we're at today, man.
Brother, man, it's just such a long road, just get to Miami. Miami when I'm a little kid is wild to me, at least from LA.
Right.
Yeah.
It's night and day. Cuban is one thing. But like I said, we was growing up already Cuban with the whole network and the social club, everything. So to me it was no different. When I get here, it's like a jungle.
Right.
It's monsoon rains,
The swamp.
And I'm like, what is this shit? Cockroaches the size of pterodactyls. Nah, bro, none of that. But as I get older, go. I went to Arvada Junior High in Kendall.
Okay. So you moved straight from LA to Kendall?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I just stayed there. You know what I'm saying? My dad, he left LA, came over here for opportunities. It was, the cocaine cowboy days.
Absolutely.
He's a veteran Marine. He went to school on the GI Bill. He was he had an accounting degree. So he had all the skills you needed in the 80s in Miami.
That's dope.
And he came out here and set up shop. And then, my parents tried to work it out. We came back and forth.
Right.
Never really worked out.
Right.
And then we just stayed out here, man. I went to school out here, and this is out here's where I fell in love with music and hip hop and all that stuff.
What was your first encounter with that, with music though, that you remember?
Well, originally I was like a skater, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that was my LA roots, but I was a skater. I'm in Arvada. I was like a little punk rocker. I loved metal, but to me, hip hop was the same as punk.
Right.
It was counterculture music. It was like underground shit.
Right. Yeah.
And so it felt the same to me.
That's dope.
But then as I'm hearing NWA and Public Enemy, and those are the ones that really started speaking to me, and I was like, yo, this music is kind of powerful, and the other music I was listening to, another generation, that was their music, like the older cats.
Right.
And then hip hop was like, yo, this is the stuff that's happening right now. This is our music.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just going with the
So
times.
I felt like, I'm on the ground level here. And for sure in Miami, I knew I wasn't the super ground level.
Yeah.
And, only Two Life Crew and Poison Clan were starting to come out.
Miami was behind on music for a long time.
Right. But I mean, we had, Two Life Crew and Poison Clan and stuff like that. Was, Gucci Crew and MC Shy D and all of that.
Right.
And that's when I knew. I was like, okay, this is what I want to get into, but just strictly like a fan. I had no ambitions to do any kind of career in it and be a DJ. I didn't even have money for. I had two tape decks that I would do the pitch and try to make mixes off of, like recording records off the radio, and I would like make mixtape. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't imagine.
That's classic, though. Those are classic techniques right there.
Oh, man, I made ill tapes. And so then just to me was just being a fan of the culture. And mostly the fan of the culture locally. Like, my whole thing was like, what is Miami doing? What are the local MCs doing? But I was super into like the whole culture, like the B-boys and the graffiti artists and the MCs, and I wanted that from Miami. Right. That was my whole outlook. Like, I'm looking at New York and LA's bubbling, Atlanta's starting to bubble, and I wanted that from Miami. And so once I got out of high school, like right when I'm graduating, my crew, that's when I assembled Crazy Hood. It's my boys. We were a little local crew doing dirt, doing dumb shit. Right. I'm like, yo, man, I want to try and do this music shit. Everybody's like, you a dummy, man. Like, we had a Kendall, man. You know we gonna respect us, and that's where it all started.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, and you definitely brought Kendall to the light, because I was telling Garcia when he was here, like, you guys were the first ones I remember kind of like representing and bringing out Kendall and putting Kendall out everywhere. That's dope. So that was your first dabble in DJing, was with the tape decks?
Yeah, and then I eventually, like in the back of the Source magazine, they had like this hip hop, this DJ starter kit.
Oh shit, okay.
Right, but it was like these bootleg turntables that were belt drive, and I got those. You couldn't tell me nothing. Those were Cadillacs to me. Right. And then eventually, I was able to get Technique 1200s and all that, and then I was it. I was ready to make mixtapes, DJ in the club, and all of that stuff.
That's awesome. And what was who was like your first artist? Who were you first working with when you first started DJing?
Well, the first group that we were working with was this group called Poetic Symbols.
Okay.
That was just some dudes in my crew. Like, my crew was an assembly of different crews in school. I originally went to Killian, then I almost ended up in MacArthur.
Okay.
But then I was able to go to Sunset.
Right.
Because the court or whatever was like, if you go to ROTC, you could go to Sunset. And I went there and I got kicked out of ROTC, but whatever. So I'm in there. And like there was all these different little hip hop crews, and we all knew each other. I tell people it's like being a goth kid back then to be hip hop.
Right.
You knew who the hip hop kids were.
Yeah.
Now everybody's a hip hop head.
Right.
But back then it was you knew, and so there was these different little cliques and crews, and so we created this group eventually. I mean, the first group was Poetic Symbols, but then we made a demo and we went and shopped it. Didn't work out. And then I took a couple other crew, MCs from different crews, and I created a group called The Alliance. And that was our first project. We worked, like we went and got studio time. I told everybody, everybody got to go to Miami-Dade, sign up for engineering classes, because that's going to give you free studio time. And that's how we financed recording our first album.
Damn, you were ahead of the game, bro.
That was fire.
Bro, we didn't have the bread. We had to figure it out.
Yeah, you definitely figured it out, because I never heard anybody think about that one.
For real.
That was dope.
And then everybody was down. Yeah, I want to continue hearing the story.
Man,
everybody was down. They was like, "Yo, let's do it."
The thing is I realized coming out that we didn't have money. So what do we have? We had manpower, and with manpower, we could accomplish a lot of things that other people couldn't if we stayed organized.
Right.
Yeah.
If we weren't organized, we young and dumb. But if we allow that to get to us, then nothing's gonna happen. We're not gonna accomplish anything. So I would tell my guys, I was like, we had meetings, mandatory meetings. If you didn't show up to a meeting, it was a problem. You know what I'm saying? If you show up late to a meeting, it was push-ups. If you showed up late more than once, we had to pay for it financially. And then we had dues you had to pay every month, so that it financed things. And I didn't care how you got the money. You get the money however you need to get it.
Yeah.
And come to the table together. And the same thing with the studio time. It's like everybody sign up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is what we're doing. If you're all down with this, and you committed to this is how we're going to accomplish it.
That's dope that you guys had that discipline at a young age, you know what I mean, to do that.
And even him to have the vision of that vibe, because
the vision,
like what he said.
And just putting everything together like that is a great thing. It shows a lot about you, because back in those days, I was bullshitting, you know what I mean? A lot of us were, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's awesome. And how'd you hook up with Nori to get where you're at now with the Drink Champs?
So in 97... me and my homie Eddie Giggs.
That's when Nori was popping too, wasn't it?
Right. Well, it was like right when the Capone Noriega album dropped. Right. It was super underground, but if you were a hip hop head, you knew the War Report, right? But a lot of those cats didn't know that outside of New York, their shit was bubbling. So he was on a promo tour because Capone was locked up, so he was doing it by himself. And I had a store called Crazy Goods that me and my homie Eddie Giggs opened up.
Yeah.
Bird Road, 137th Avenue. Yeah. And in those days, it wasn't like internet promotion. If you came into town to do something, they had to take the artists to do in stores, and do some autograph signings. Yeah. So my store was on that list of places to go. Shout out to Phil the Mayor, who now live on Sundays, and you know all that. He's the one who brought him to my store.
Huge.
And then me and Nori just clicked. I had like this 4-track, and I made every artist come through. I was like, you got to rhyme on this 4-track for my mixtapes. And then and that's it. We clicked, man, and then we just, you know, we kept in contact.
Right.
Like his crew was down with my crew. If I went to New York, I linked up. People would hit me like, "Yo, Nori's talking about Crazy Hood on Hot 97." He was almost on every mixtape. We went on tour with him. Like it was wild, man. And then eventually he moved to Miami. He came and he even stayed in Kendall to be right down the street from my studio.
Yeah.
And he had just finished the reggaeton album that he had did.
Yeah.
And he knew I wasn't into reggaeton. So he's like, "Yo, E," he's like, "bring me back to hip hop." And that's what we started doing. We started just working on these diehard hip hop records and bringing them back to that. And then in those sessions, the name Drink Champs was born out of me and my crew just being big drinkers. And if you couldn't handle your liquor, you're not a drink champ. So the name was born there. And I was like, oh, I like this name. I don't know what it could be. So I grabbed it. You know, I copywrote it. I got the .com. I got the social. This is 5 years before we ever use it.
Oh, shit. That's awesome.
And then at the same time, me and Nori start an XM show. Before Sirius XM merged, we were on satellite radio, doing it out of Kendall, turning it in every week. And then that's how we got like the chops to do the show the way that we do it. Because if you look back, it sounds and looks like Drink Champs.
And it started like that? The XM show was like a podcast, like where you guys were talking?
Yeah, it was a weekly show. The only difference, we had a mix show where we had DJ spinning. We barely had guests because nobody was going to come to fucking Kendall. And, you know, and this is when Nori, to be realistic, was on his low. Like, people they thought that's it. His career was a wrap. So a lot of people weren't checking for him, you know, even his fellow peers, which was kind of wild. You know, I learned a lot through that, seeing what he was going through.
That experience, hell yeah.
And then, you know, years later when Drink Champs pops, you know, his peoples came back in the fold, like, you know, like he never left, you know?
It's true, yeah, because, I mean, it happens to everybody in their career. Exactly. You know, you hit a peak, and then, you know, you go down, you start working, you disappear for a while. But you guys definitely pop back up with the Drink Champs. You guys are killing it with that, man. I mean,
hell yeah. Congrats on that.
I was listening to Scarface. I'm a huge Scarface fan since day one. Gangster music. And was it me you were talking about? He's not like this. I might be wrong, but he's not like this Grammy Award-winning dude. But when you listen to his lyrics, he's
one of the best to ever do it. Man.
Sick with it.
One of the best.
No, you've had great people. You had Pitt on there. You know what I mean?
The Pitt was dope.
Amazing episode.
That's awesome. We actually, when you were with Garcia, I don't know if you remember, when we traveled, we did a show in Naples one time.
I saw Garcia talking about it. I actually told Garcia, I said, hold up. Was he there? Oh, shit. I was going to get my ass whooped that day.
Oh, my God.
But yeah,
Nori loves to bring that story up, but he doesn't know the story. He says he witnessed me and Pitt and Atarasanas about to beef. I'm like, bro, that's not. Is that what he heard our story?
Right.
And then what happens is I saw Pitt afterwards with Nori and Atarasanas.
And he mixes those two together.
He mixed it, but me and Pitt more than squashed it, because we had already squashed it, but we hadn't seen each other in person.
Yeah.
And then Pitt was like, "Yo, what I said about your grandma?" Because it was like a dumb Cuban ridiculous drunk conversation about politics, and then he dissed my grandma, and I lost my mind.
It was epic.
No, and that's why, you know, we're young and everybody just snaps at the fucking sound of a word.
No, but you know, it's crazy that you just mentioned at the sound of a word. When you mentioned Altarazana, it just took me back to those
wild days.
Wild as Baja Panty days.
Shout out Baja Panty.
For real, we're right around the corner from Altarazana too.
Yeah, no, boy, we drive. He goes, remember this spot? I remember.
Yeah, that shit was lit.
Hey, and you still working with music at all, with artists and?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not DJing actively right now. I'm too busy. I mean, I still got my turntable. I still spin at the crib and stuff. But yeah, I'm producing music. I got producers, Beats in the Hood, who's here with me right now.
Oh yeah,
Big Drain. The crew still rhymes, and I just did a collab track with this Chicana MC out of LA. You know, I got ties to my LA roots, and I'm always trying to like work and bring the two coasts together.
Awesome.
So I'm always working, and I did the album that Scarface was on that I talk in
that's
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, still do music.
That's awesome.
Go ahead. What would you say would be like your top 5 episodes
of Drink Champs?
It's hard, bro. They're all classic, bro.
They're all my little babies, you know, in the sense that every episode has a different thing that's dope about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I always talk about 50 being a dope episode. Yeah. Because he like came and he worked it. Like, he knew what it was and he handled it. Trick Daddy's always fun when he's on the show. The comedians are the best. Marlon Wayne, hands down.
Yeah.
Mike Epps. Yo,
Oh, the Mike Epps one was classic.
I almost died of laughter.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, because it's like you have a comedy show, like the dude's right here,
He's right.
and he's clowning the room like he's dissing Boris. I think Marlon Wayne's called Boris Papote. Like, I lost my mind. He's like, what is Papote doing over there? And I just lost my mind.
How often y'all film the show?
Bro, we film pretty much every week.
Yeah.
But it's wild, man. I tell people we're like firefighters. Yeah. Like, someone's in town, they call us, we're ready to rock and roll. And It's definitely not good for fatherhood, but it's wild, man.
Yeah, we're on the same trip here, man. I mean, whenever somebody needs to, whenever we could get a guest on, let's make it happen. You know what I mean? The team comes together. And what you got going on next, man?
Bro, I got this documentary series that I've been working on for years.
Well, I remember the one where you were traveling, right? With Garcia. What was it called?
Well, Garcia was on the first and second one. And then he got busy doing all the other directorial stuff he was doing. So it was like really my passion project. So I just continued to carry it. We went to Cuba in 2012.
Right, I remember. I saw that.
Coming home, and then that birthed the series. And we went to Haiti, to Peru, to Vietnam.
Damn, sick.
Like I went to the battlefield. My dad fought in Vietnam.
Oh shit, that's sick.
Quezon, the Marines. It was wild, We went to Colombia. We just right now wrapped up on the edit for South Africa.
Oh shit!
And I just did a deal with LL Cool J and Rock the Bells, who they came on board to basically be a part of the project.
Dope. DJ Epps was on here talking
about Rock the Bells too. Yeah.
So what are you doing on the show? Are you highlighting people who do music in these countries?
Yeah, it's basically like it's a travel show, but it's really about exploring the country through hip hop.
Right.
It's like, I don't know if you ever watched Anthony Bourdain.
Of course. No, right.
I was a huge fan of Anthony Bourdain. And a lot of people use him as a reference for travel shows.
Right.
But I feel like they use it wrong. Like, that dude his profession was being a chef in food. But when you watched it, you didn't feel like you were watching a food show.
Right.
Yeah.
He just used food as that way to be able to get you to open up and talk about, the country, the politics, whatever was going on.
Right.
And he gave you way more deeper stuff than food and travel. So that's what I'm doing with hip hop, because hip hop is my profession. So and I know there's hip hop everywhere. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna link with these hip hop heads who are gonna give me the hood pass to go into these places where tourists are not going.
Right.
And then I get to see the country through their eyes. So it's not a documentary about hip hop, because that's not fair to that country. They their hip hop scene, just like ours, is vast.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it's a documentary about hip hop heads connecting internationally and then learning about a place through hip hop culture.
Hell yeah.
That's dope.
That's classic. That guy's actually Mike's favorite guy, too. You know what I'm saying? The travel guy. Anthony
Bourdain.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We was watching
we're
some
talking
videos.
about today. This morning we were filming something talking about
they
him.
got a new documentary about him. About his life.
Yeah. That's what we're saying. That's right. I got to check that out.
Damn, and when you plan on releasing that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
So the first 4 were picked up by Revolt TV, the same people who picked up
dope.
Drink
Yeah,
Champs.
Drink Champs.
Actually, before Drink Champs, I had Cuba on there and I had Peru on there.
Oh, dope.
Since then, I stopped doing it with them because I just want something bigger and better. I'm appreciative of that situation because it put money and it financed the other ones that I did. But now that's why I linked. I did a partnership with LL. He saw the vision, and we're connected. And he's basically putting the series on his back and taking it to market now.
Oh,
That's
dope.
That's
Hell
dope.
yeah. So then you still waiting for the
release
date and all that stuff.
Like I have Colombia and South Africa unreleased. I never released those. Yeah.
How was it like filming those?
Oh man, every trip is amazing.
Yeah.
Haiti was wild. Like especially now that I'm watching all the stuff in Haiti that's going on.
That's crazy.
Like we went into Cité Soleil, which is like the slums in Haiti, where the Haitians were like, yo, don't you dare go in there.
Damn.
And we were like, hip hop's gonna keep us safe. In retrospect, it was the dumbest shit we ever did.
Yeah.
But it was just it's a beautiful thing, man, when it all works out, and you get to go in these places and like at first when they see you, because in these other countries they weary of people with cameras from, especially coming from the United States.
Right.
They think, you just want to show that we're poor or show us looking
yeah.
foul, but that's not it, And once they realize that I'm not really a filmmaker like that, I'm a DJ, my homie right here is an MC, this dude is a producer, and we start talking hip-hop shit, and it's all
that
like,
opens doors.
the wall comes down, and it's just a beautiful
That's
thing.
dope. That's
Hell
dope.
yeah.
That's dope. That's dope.
Did the energy, did you feel like that energy, like when you got into the hood, like
Oh man, I mean, yeah, like
you
Colombia,
feel it
too.
just when we're just.
Bro, in Colombia, we're doing an interview and dude gets stabbed right behind me.
No
What?
shit.
Yeah, because supposedly there was like somebody came up that the people we were talking to wasn't feeling. They thought he might have been a threat, and all of us, and you see it on camera, and then all of a sudden, and I turn around and you just see,
Buddy getting
Oh
plucked.
shit!
and then I turn to the MC. He's like, no, don't worry about it. It's
No,
cool."
no, hey, no wonder Colombia's unreleased, bro.
Yeah. No te preocupes, sigamos.
Shout out to the Crack family. Imagine that was the people we were interviewing, the Crack family.
Oh,
Damn. Shouts out to the crack. Oh yeah. Shouts out to the
some
crack
real
family.
dudes. Yeah, they dope.
Hell yeah.
Hey, how'd you guys do? How'd you do during the pandemic, man? How'd you rise from that?
I mean, luckily, man, Drink Champs and everything that we did, like I had set it up to be all digital content, so we were lucky. Like it wasn't like I had to go and do club gigs and DJ and do touring or anything like that. Like
Something
everything
where you depended on people, really. Yeah.
Nah, bro. And then we created the quarantine episodes, which everybody was doing, which was Zoom stuff.
Yeah.
And we already had contracts with our partners, our distribution partners, so the checks never stopped coming. As long as we kept delivering content, those checks never stopped.
That's awesome.
And so we were
Yeah,
blessed.
so y'all didn't skip a beat. That was riding.
If anything, we came out better, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Better. Yeah.
Yeah, because the consistency is what makes everything better too, man. Once people know they could depend on you making new shows and seeing new content, then people keep tuning in. So that's a great thing about on this show. We always bring that up, how people made the most of the pandemic, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people sunk, and a lot of people turned that inner hustler in and rose. And anything new coming up for the show?
For Drink Champs?
Yeah.
Man, we always got new things coming up, man. There's deals that we're working on that we can't talk about, but every year, because we do a lot of our contracts are annual contracts.
Right.
So every year we try to switch it up and do something new. Like we were, I think the first, at least in hip hop, that did a deal where it was like we had a TV deal, then we had a podcast deal, and then we had a subscriber deal with Tidal. So it was Tidal.
Damn.
And it was Mass Appeal, which was Nas, Tidal, which is Jay, and then Revolt, which is Puff, which sounds wild on paper. You got we're partners with Puff, Jay, and Nas. And
It
so
just sounds great.
and so every year we're like switching up. Not that we're not sticking with people. It's just like we're looking for ways to be creative with our partnerships and make it the most lucrative, because this could end tomorrow.
Right.
At the end of the day, it could end tomorrow. We're lucky we're here. We're going on 6 years now.
That's
No,
awesome.
it's
That's awesome. That's
This
a blessing, man.
Started as a hobby, like I didn't. Do you think I really thought we was gonna be Drink Champs for 6 years?
That's awesome.
You guys are the champions of the champions.
And you guys been consistent for 6 years. What is it? One episode a week?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, there might have been a couple breaks here and there,
Right.
like between deals. If we weren't going to get paid, we took a break.
Right.
Yeah.
Cut the check.
Yeah.
Yo, E, all right, so look, right now we got a podcast. You know what I'm saying? We on episode 31 right now.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just lay the deals on the table right now. They sound real nice and look real good. You know what I mean? What any advice you would give us, you know what I'm saying, as your boys starting this up, you know what I'm saying, and really enjoying what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, and taking it to the next level. What advice you would give us?
Well, you guys are already doing it right. You're filming everything.
Boom.
I see all the
Check.
extra content you filming, like between and after and post and all that.
Yeah.
I think the angle you guys are taking and what you're doing, it all ties in, and you own it all. I hope you're doing the audio as well.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Okay.
We're on every platform.
And do you have any partners, any distribution partners?
Well, right now we're using a company that's distributing it all to all the other different platforms.
Because when I say partners, it's usually the type of partnerships they sell ads against your audio.
Yeah.
So like for example, right now we're with iHeart, Black Effect iHeart, and they go and they sell ads. Like if when you hear the radio and you hear a podcast that someone is doing like an ad, boom, and then you get paid off that way. So imagine we're getting paid. We get paid off our audio, which is selling ads, and then we get paid off Revolt TV. They pay us as a television show and as talent, and then they put it on digital on YouTube, and we do a rev share with them there. So what I would say to you guys is, not knowing the numbers, is just stack those numbers, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be the biggest numbers. That's what people misunderstand.
Yeah.
It just has to be consistent numbers.
Yeah.
Decent enough and consistent.
What do you think about our guests?
Nah,
We've been killing it, right?
But to me, it should never be about the guests. It should be about y'all.
Yeah.
because you should be able to survive without a guest.
For sure.
So as long as you can continue to do the content with or without a guest, the guest is just extra icing on top.
Right. So you and Nori ever do like shows without a guest?
Yeah, well, we do family episodes, which we bring the whole crew that's kind of around in Drink Chat. We bring them to the table, and they're like characters. And we thought of that like Howard Stern. How he had all these like characters that
different people,
they became celebrities.
Yeah.
So Beats in the Hood, Boris, Papote, Mr. Lee, the Dominican guy. We got Sonny BET, he's the Haitian dude. Like the whole crew.
That's dope.
They got their own little fame.
Yeah, we'll have a crazy show here with Uly with all these guys.
Hey, I'm sure it's already in the works, but y'all got to get your own alcohol named after you. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
I know it's gonna be
A
something
tequila, huh?
Yeah.
Drink Champs, tequila.
I mean, I'm working. I got a brand that I work with called Colombian White. It's Aguardiente.
Okay.
That they're locally distilled right here.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, and I'm also coming out with this Michelada cup. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Michelada.
Yeah.
So I got this like to-go cup. Like you can go in the gas station, grab it. It already has the rim, has the powder.
You just put the beer in it.
and you're good to go. Yeah.
That's dope. Well, that's dope because that's not like setting alcohol. So
Exactly. It's a lot easier to
right.
Man, that's dope. That's a good idea right there. That's awesome. Killing
the
it.
Drink Champs Micheladas.
Yeah.
I need one.
Crazy Michis. Crazy Michis.
That's the name of it?
That's the name of it.
Oof.
How's mixing life with what you do and being a father, man? It's hard to keep that balance.
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna be 100%. I have another podcast called Fatherhoods, which is basically I got my other homies that are fathers. They were fathers before me, and I was like calling them when I was about to have my kid. And I was like, yo, we should do this as a podcast for people like us in the same industry.
It's a great idea.
Because in hip hop, nobody was ever talking about being a dad, really. Or even that they were in a relationship.
Right.
In the entertainment industry, they used to be you hit all of that stuff.
Right.
Nobody talks about the hardship of being a parent.
Right.
And so that's what we talk about, and I'm very open about it. It's not easy. It's not easy because I want to be a good father more than anything else.
Right.
So, and the minute I have my kids, my life wasn't my life anymore. It's my children's lives, and everything I do is about them and not about me.
Absolutely.
I'm no longer going to the club just to go to the club.
Right.
Never. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Never not happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, and I feel like especially where we're at today and where you came from, bro. Like you've been at it for many years. Where like it doesn't have that shine anymore. It's like,
we've seen it all.
Right. I don't have that shine no more. Like, this is. Yeah, let me get this money. Peace.
This white bearded dude don't need to be in the club right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave that for the youngins, man.
For real. You got any music questions for the dog, bro? You
Damn, I mean, hell yeah. I mean, when we get in the studio, E, what's up?
Come through. Come down to Crazy Hub, man.
Oh, shit. We're going Deep Kendall, baby. We're going to go to Deep Kendall. I actually went to Braddock. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I went to Braddock for high school.
That's what Crazy Goods, the store, was right down the street from Braddock.
Yeah, I remember that story, too.
Were you there when Garcia was a security guard?
At Braddock? No, I was there 2000.
Did he talk about that?
No. Hey, Garcia, why didn't you tell us about when you was about a security guard at Braddock?
You missed that one.
Damn, but shouts out the house. I remember house. You remember house?
Yeah, house is my
Shouts out the house. You know what I'm saying?
I still talk the house. House is now security at BT's on the river.
Hey, yeah. He would always let me go to McDonald's and shit. Shout out the house, man. I love you, bro.
For real. Where's you guys film Drink Champs?
Right now we're doing that Racket in Wynwood.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But we're all over the place.
Yeah.
Like we will do it in a hotel. I mean, we've traveled and done it in the most.
Yeah, y'all let it rip.
Yeah, shout out to Racket, man. I did an after party there for one of my fights.
Yeah,
it was a dope time. I was
all...
actually there with JT Money. I performed. He performed one of his songs, my favorite song with him. It was sick.
Yeah.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
Damn, sick with
JT is a legend.
No,
hell yeah.
JT's a man. I love that dude.
We're going to have him on Drink Champs soon enough.
Yeah,
damn, that's dope.
I think he's living in Atlanta now or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yo, E, so right quick, I don't want to deviate. Don't think I forgot. So what time do I tell you that we're going to
Boris.
We go, Boris.
Pull up the studio with the calendar.
Babode.
Put the beat on. Beat the beat on. No, I was kidding. Hell yeah,
brother. What's in the near future for you, man? What can we look forward to?
Brother, I mean, definitely gonna see more Drink Champ stuff going on.
Hell yeah.
The Coming Home series, more music being produced, more products. Doing like online like masterclass sessions, talking about the podcasting and digital content realm. That's my thing now. Is like I'm just trying to like give out. All this. Well, I mean, whatever I've learned, I'm not saying that I know everything, But whatever I learned, I'm trying to pass it on, because we got to be OGs. If we rep that, let's be real OGs for real and pass down the game.
Absolutely. And when is it that when does Fatherhood come out for the guys out there?
Every week.
Every week also?
It drops on Tuesday.
I'm gonna check that out when I get out here.
So your calendar is lit every week. This one every week. This one every week.
And I got other podcasts with Beats in the Hood over there. We got one called Lost in Translation.
Oh, dope.
We got another one called Beer Fest Fridays. We got a podcast studio in the office. So my thing is what idea you think of to do a pod? Let's just go. Let's just try.
Let's do it.
Let's fuck with it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Man.
and staying busy is the best way to stay out of trouble too, bro. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
Damn, that's a good one.
Yeah, fucking trademark that, copyright.
Website
Don't
coming
blink.
soon.
My brother, listen, man, it's been amazing having you here, my brother.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for spitting games, spitting knowledge. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for putting people on, brother. You know what I mean?
Thank you guys, man.
You've been an amazing person, brother, and nothing but success to you, dog, for real.
Thank you, dog. Appreciate it.
And
likewise.
We got you a dope Monster shirt.
Oh, yeah. We got that for you. And Uly, look what he got for us. He got us with that exclusive
Now I'm gonna send y'all michelada cups. I'm gonna lace y'all over.
Yeah, lace us up because look, we got a lot of space for product placement.
Colombian white over here.
Smoke champs.
That's it. They drink champs, smoke champs.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you. And too bad I'm a little bit under the weather. I told y'all, man.
Nah, it's all love,
you
bro.
got 98% E.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Matter of fact, everybody watching out there too. I got my second COVID vaccine yesterday, so I'm sweating right now. But no, man, we appreciate your time, dog. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man.
Again, you're doing amazing things, bro. It's awesome to see. You know what I mean? Where you've come from to where you're at now, and it's awesome, dog. We're all doing something great, man. You know,
man.
trying to help everybody out. Yes,
and any other tips you got to give us, you can tell us off cameras. We write them down and we let it rip.
Hit me up, man. If
Let's
there's
rock
something
and
you
roll.
want to know, you hit me up. I'm gonna tell you whatever I know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm not hiding the gems.
That's what I'm talking about.
What we need is we need your guest list, dog.
Send them over to you guys right after.
My brother, this has been another episode of My Bad.
Now that you said that, it's almost like exactly what you was talking about your store. Like when they had the tour dates, and it's like, okay, when you come to Miami, you're gonna go do this show. We should set up that whole thing right now.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, where the artists got to stop in everybody's podcast.
And we live.
That should be the way to do it, man. Absolutely.
You'll be the perfect advocate of that. You know what I mean?
We should do how they have the dining halls. Should be just podcasts.
In different areas.
Just goes to every podcast.
Well, that's a great idea.
That's
like Radio Row for like Super Bowl and shit. Like,
hell yeah. Damn, don't blink on that one. Let's go.
Hey, he dropped that idea here, so we're owning that, right?
Yeah.
My brother, thank you again, man.
Thank you, dog.
There's been another episode of Don't Blink Podcast, man, with DJ EFN, Crazy Hood Productions.
Yes.
The kid in the building.
Aliens
was okay. So wait up before we leave. I'm gonna
bring it back.
I'm glad you said that because Aliens was a huge part of this show, right?
Okay. Because the real ones or
the real ones? No, the real ones. Because in December. Last December, Donald Trump signed this COVID bill, and in the COVID bill was where after 180 days they had to release all UFO information to the public. That day ended up being 180 days after he signed that, ended up being June 26th, which was the day I fought about 4 weeks ago now. But if you look to this day, you Google anything about aliens or anything, it's the same shit. There's nothing
they
new.
Ain't dropped nothing. They ain't dropped. They bamboozled us.
Yeah, they bamboozled us.
So what do you think? What do y'all think?
I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I believe in God. I grew up Cuban, you know.
Right.
But bro, I believe in aliens, dog. I believe there's got to be something out there. I believe people like us are aliens. We're we think outside the box, you know. But yeah, man, there's a lot of weird shit going on, and nowadays with everybody with phones in their hands, you see shit. You know, like back in the day, it's be like, man, that people could rig shit. But now it's like, yo, out of 100, one of them's gotta be real, bro.
So what are you thinking, E?
I mean, I talked about this on my other homies' podcast. I say it's time travelers.
Ooh.
And the reason why I say that is because we might catch something, but we don't catch nothing real significant.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we was humans in the future doing like time travel, like vacations or tours, like, hey, let's go to the 90s or let's go to 2000. And, we can't let them see us, though. And then they shit fuck up like, oh, shit, they see us. And then the shit disappears.
It's like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and shit.
Yeah. Hot tub time machine and shit. You hop in that bitch.
Yeah, but it's wild. Like,
damn, so you think that's what they doing?
I mean, maybe that's one of them. It could be all kinds of shit happening.
I heard they was like in the ocean and shit.
The ocean shit, I heard.
They in the ocean? How deep is the ocean?
Hollow Earth
no, they
theory.
still don't know. That's the shit, man. And the thing that sticks in my head is there's one where there's some fighter jet pilots.
Yeah.
Real stand-up guys. Like these guys are honorable guys that don't lie. You know what I mean? And it's 5 guys saying the same story.
They're
trained.
To
and
see shit like that.
You see it on their radar. So it's some wild shit, bro. Unexplainable shit. So I don't know what to say.
It's dope.
Hey,
it's mad interesting. It's entertaining.
Yeah. But then again, I listened to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's like doesn't believe in none of it.
Exactly.
But that's wild to me,
and he's
bro.
a genius, bro. You know what I mean?
I just think someone who come on, bro. We're a fucking piece of rock floating in the middle of a million other people. Something's gotta be going on, bro. That by itself is amazing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is what I used to say. Like when Native Americans would worship like birds and the sun. That shit makes sense because that shit's fucking crazy. It's a fucking bird flying, and there's a sun that heats us, and it's a water that does this. Those are things that is worth worshiping versus something you're not really sure of or never see.
Look, another thing I'm huge on is ancient Egypt, dog. The pyramids. Like we're in 2021, we have the technology to do whatever we want to do at the drop of a hat. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we can't rebuild a pyramid, and we can't study it. We still can't even explain it. So shit like that, like those little intriguing things. Rack my mind, bro.
Yeah,
and aliens falls into that category, dog.
Hopefully they land while one of us is doing a podcast.
Shit, maybe they'll come to our event and then they'll go from podcast to podcast.
I would say in Miami, aliens will pull up on 26s with a bass pumping, playing beauty music and 2 Live Crew and shit.
Hell yeah.
That, though?
Time traveling.
They come looking for Trick.
Where's our father?
Next guest on fucking Don't Blink podcast is an alien, bro. Stay tuned.
Hell yeah. Damn, Uly, so shouts out our sponsors right there, bro.
Bro, shout out to our sponsors. My boy Romero, actually had lunch with him yesterday, man. Shout out to Romero Lumber Services, man. Anything you need done for your warehouse, forklift drivers, you need an organization, logistics, whatever it may be. Moving some packages, legit ones, you already know.
Yeah,
Hit
legit.
up Romero Lumber Services and Arancibia bail bonds. Self-explanatory. You go to jail, call Javi, tell him the monster and the kid sent you, and we'll get you out ASAP.
Quick.
DJ EFN, you the man, bro. Thank you.
Nah,
Thank you.
dog.
You're the
Appreciate
man,
you.
dog.
Yes, sir.
Another episode of Don't Blink Podcast. Let the aliens take this one away.
Let's go.
Bow.
I think me and Two Nights got something great going on. We got some great guests coming up. It's gonna be dope. We got some dope people that already signed up to do it with us, which is great. A lot of people show us love, and it's because we love them back for sure.